Okay, let us continue with the A to Z mini reworks and my thoughts. We have finally got to someone that I feel very strongly about. In not good ways. Camille The Steel Shadow. Her damage is physical. Her style is on the C. I would accept that. It's pretty mixed. Her difficulty is 3. I will admit that. Haha, let's get to this. Mobility 3. Damage 3. Toughness 2. Crowd control 2. Yeah, crowd control should be 3. Like a stun, an AoE stun, a slow, a knock up, and I don't even know what the heck to call it, an immobilize, sort of. You still can move, but you can't get out of the range. So I don't really know what type of CC you would consider it. Definitely would make that 3. Her toughness, I'll agree with that being 2. And she doesn't have any utility, so you know. Okay, weaponized, operate outside the boundaries of the law. Camille is the principal intelligencer of Clan Furus, an elegant and elite agent who ensures the Piltover machines and its Zonite underbelly runs smoothly. Adaptable and precise, she views sloppy technique as an embarrassment that must be put to order. With a mind as sharp as the blades she bears, Camille's pursuit of superiority through Hextech body augmentation has left many to wonder if she is now more machine than woman. Probably. Okay. Abilities. Let's go with the passive. Adaptive defenses. Basic attacks on champions grants a shield equal to 20% of the Camille's maximum health against their damage type, physical damage, or physical or magic, for a brief duration. Precision Protocol. Camille's next attack deals bonus damage and grants bonus movement speed. This spell can be recast for a short period of time during significant increased bonus damage if Camille delays a period of time between the 2 attacks. Tactical Sweep. Camille blasts in a cone after a delay, dealing damage. Enemies in the outer half are slowed and take extra damage while also healing Camille. Hookshot. Camille pulls herself to a wall, leaping off and knocking up enemies upon landing. Hextech Ultimatum. Camille dashes to a target champion, anchoring them to the area. She has to deal bonus damage to the target, or she also deals bonus damage to the target with her basic attacks. So, Camille, she has way too much stuff in one kit. Her ult gives her invulnerability, bonus damage, and mobility. The invulnerability is while the leap is happening right about like now. That. Her E gives her an AoE stun that can stun 2 people if she hits 2 people that are right next to each other. Now, yes, you would have to hit 2 people next to each other, but nonetheless, it can happen. Her E is also a double dash that can go over walls. So, you know, that's nice. Her W, Tactical Sweep. This, honestly, is the one ability that I wouldn't really change much, but I don't think it's entirely that bright of the fact that it heals her. Q, Precision Protocol, is just like, why? You gave her a double auto attack reset, one of them doing true damage. Like, why? And her passive is, why? Yet again, like a shield upon attacking that even works better if, like, against a single target. Because it goes specifically with, whatever the heck it's called, physical or magic damage. There is just way too much on one person's kit. I just disagree with how much they put on her. She's very Bruiser-esque and can build a whole lot of HP and still have a whole lot of damage. Like, all of her items, you can go with, like, an HP more build or a more damage build. It really doesn't matter. At the same time, Now, I will admit, though, as I said earlier, she does have a difficulty of 3, and you do need to know what you're doing to really be able to pull her off, which is why I was practicing with her for a while. And that's why in the jungle games, how I was capable of doing, like, being pretty strong, but I couldn't really carry the game as well as, like, others could from actually being good at her. So I do agree that champions, like the higher difficulty, they should have like more to their kit. But I disagree in the manner of the way that they're doing it. I don't think they should just give her more things to her kit. I think that they should have like force an order, or not really an order, just like force you to. I don't know how the heck to describe this. Like, one of my big complaints is when champions like Annie or Wukong, who have a difficulty of 1 and are the simplest things in the world, how much their kit has in, like, the simple terms. Now, this kit has a whole lot more in more complex terms, which is why the difficulty is higher. But the damage outputs are very similar. Now, that's honestly one thing that I kind of disagree with, just because I don't... Not in, like... harder champions should do less damage, more of like easier champions should do less damage, such as Annie and Wukong, and should not be able to do it like the things they can currently. But at the same time, I don't think that Camille should have all the stuff in the world just to make her more difficult. Like Azir. Azir does have a whole lot of different things, but Azir, he is insanely difficult to do, and it requires, like, you need to really, like, use your abilities with each other really well. In this one, you can as well, but it would still, it's just not the same thing. Plus of the fact that she is a bruiser, who, while in your face, can destroy your face. I do think that she is less tanky and less ridiculous than most other bruisers, but I do think that she has just too much in her kit. So let's really go with the changes I would make. So I'd probably honestly keep her passive the same. I think that in general it is a good idea as is. And I wouldn't really change it because it really does help her sustain and keep going and fighting and like so on and so forth. Her Q. Her Q I would probably change to make it a bit more difficult to proc. And I'm talking about the true damage part of it. I agree with the first part of it just being an auto attack, like another auto attack reset with it to slightly more damage. But I think that if they want to like increase the next auto attack, then it shouldn't just be wait a couple of seconds and then reactivate the ability, because that's really not that hard to do. Like, yes, you can mess up with it here and there, but it's really not. And I kind of, what I'm about to say, I like both agree with and disagree with, honestly, is I kind of feel as if more along the line of she can only reactivate it if she or like an ally around her immobilizes a champion. And by immobilize, I mean her E, not her alt. Meaning she will have to fling off of a wall, then run into a champion, and then she'll, because of that, it will cause her Q to like re-proc. Or will cause like her next Q or something like that, or a Q against that champion to do bonus true damage. So if we want to, depending on how we do it, we would either make a, she would just put like a stack of precision protocol or hookshot. She would put a stack of hookshot or precision protocol onto a champion upon hitting them with her E. If that same champion is hit by her auto attack from her Q, it will do bonus true damage. And like so on and so forth. Or we can make it so that like actually pretty difficult to use the ability, and make it so that her Q, like she has to use her Q, the first part of it, then E off of a wall, slamming into the enemy, and then she'll get the chance to reactivate her Q upon stunning someone with her E. And it must be like an enemy champion. Otherwise, then she won't be able to reactivate it, and it will just stay gray. And then the ability will light up upon stunning someone with your E. I guess we can also probably throw it on hitting someone with your W, but at the same time, I was like, that's really just a slow. And okay, hitting someone with the farther out part of your W, I can also understand if you can reactivate the Q with that. So it's not just CC. Or it would, I guess, in general just be CC, but it has to be from you. So then next with her W, as I was saying earlier, I don't really like the ability, just because it heals, but at the same time, she is a bruiser, and they kind of stick with a pattern of almost every bruiser being able to heal in some way, shape, or form. So I will accept the fact that she can use this ability and heal with it, and honestly, in general, I think it is a pretty decent ability. It doesn't do insane amount of damage until you actually level it. And even after that, it is, like, pretty difficult to, like, aim and actually hit. Well, not exactly actually hit. It's not that difficult to actually hit, but it's just, eh. And by actually hit, I mean, like, land the farther circle and not the one that's closer to her. Her E. Oh, my lordy. So as I said earlier, I want to kind of make it work with the E, or with her Q a little bit, and because of this, I would keep the crowd control on it. But honestly, I disagree with the fact of it being a double dash. I don't think that she should be able to go over walls with it either. And that's honestly what I would really change about it as is I would change the fact that it can't go over walls. I would keep it a double dash, but I would honestly change it so that she has to, like, reactivate it or something like that, and it's not procced with just, like, her clicking in an area as if she's trying to move. Because honestly, that would probably help and make it harder at the same time. It would help because I know I happen to, like, click to try to move a lot while I'm attached to a wall. And because of this, I miss. No, and I don't always do that, and I've kind of fixed the problem since then, but nonetheless. And I would make it so that it has to be reactivated just so it takes a second longer for her to, like, really do her full combo, and it gives you more time to, like, prepare to dodge and for preparation period. Which I think that would be a good idea to add. Then we have Hextech Ultimatum. Oh my lordy, I have no words. This ability is a bit insane. I think this was the ability that started the period of every alt has to give invulnerability while jumping. Because so far, like, Xayah, Camille, what's her face, Evelyn, have all gotten abilities that cause them to jump into the air, become invulnerable, and then do something. So I agree with the bonus damage that she should do, because honestly it makes it pretty reasonable to, like, hit a single target. But I would probably change it up in a different manner, such as I would increase, like, I don't think they have this currently, but I would increase the range that this is per level. Now you're probably thinking why, because it gives people more room to, like, move around, and it makes it harder for early levels because you really won't be able to move much, and it will really keep you set in, like, a specific place. And honestly, you'd probably not want to level it if you're going for solo encounters. But that's honestly kind of why I want to do it, also because it in earlier levels, if you have, like, a jungle nearby or something, it will encourage them to come near. Because even if she uses her ult and to knock one of you away, it will not knock you very far, because it will just knock you to the edge of the range. And even if you are being, like, more soloed along the line, then this is also, like, where the second part of what I was going to add to it comes in, where upon her auto-attacking you, which, yes, will do the bonus damage, it will cause it to shrink even more, but in a different way. Now, I don't mean shrink as in the borders that you can move and shrink. I mean, like, a little line from each of these will come through each time you're auto-attacked. And what it will do is it will cause, it will cause like the duration of it to last less time. So at like level 1, she'll probably only be able to get 2 to 3 auto attacks off before the ult completely ends. But at like level 3, she'll be able to get like 9 off before the ability ends, unless, it ends from its own duration because she gets stunned or something while inside of it. Now, the reason this will be is it will cause so that even if you are fighting her top lane and she ults you, she'll only be able to get off those 2 ults, and then you'll still be able to, like, move away and then attack her. Now, I don't really agree with the fact that it knocks enemies back fully, but that's also why I was changing the range of it, just so that even if it knocks enemies back, they'll just be able to run over, and that with level, it knocks them back farther. So those are really my changes with Camille. Let's go over a quick recap. Passive stays the same. Her Q would only work on enemies that she's CC'd with her E or her W, not her alt. But you could also get the first auto attack from it. Her W would be the same. Her E wouldn't be able to go through walls, but would still be able to stun and like so on and so forth. And you'd have to reactivate it by actually hitting her E a second time. And then when it comes to her alt, she would basically stay the same, except for the range and knockback radius of it would increase with level. And then last but not least, all we really have is the program Camille, which is just the skin and all. And I don't really have any ideas for her currently. I thought of like one thing when it comes to like Gnar. You could throw in a gentleman skin, but it would be like, I don't really know what they'd call it with her. And she would have just be more fancy looking and have the blades be more stupid of like like a fork and a knife, something like that, where it's just a more comedic skin than anything else. And that's really the only idea I came up with her when it comes to her skins. And that is Camille the Steel Shadow. If you agree with anything that I've said about changes, then please leave something in the comments. Please leave a like and subscribe. I hope to see you all next time, and I'm going to bid you all adieu. Goodbye.